inspires Jesus to give his life. Okay? The Father doesn't take out his wrath on Jesus. The Father loves me, and so I lay down my life. Again, that's from the Gospel of John. The Father loves me, and so I lay down my life. Okay? The entire life of Jesus, again, is this return to the Father, gathering all of creation with him, returning to the Father. Because why? Because the Father loves Jesus, and love seeks union. And so that's the important thing to remember. The Father loves me, for I lay down my life. Because it can seem at times that the Father has abandoned Jesus. My God, why have you forsaken me? Those are the words of Jesus on the cross. And Jesus does truly suffer. Right? It's not a gimmick. It's not an act of God. But the Father didn't abandon him. And we know this eventually because of the resurrection. But even in the moment of death, it's still love. It's still an offering of love. Because at the very, very end, what does Jesus say? It is finished. It is accomplished. It's probably the best translation. It is accomplished. Right? You don't accomplish a mistake. You accomplish something good. And that's what it was. And we celebrate this on Good Friday. Good Friday. Okay? Any questions about that? I mean, just backing up and thinking about Jesus' own words, right? No one has greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. But while we were sinners, Christ died for us. And so it's more and more, especially in the Gospel of John, if you just read, this is an act of love, laying down his life for us.
Why does Jesus say that his blood will be spilled for you and for me? Is there...
At the Last Supper.
Yeah. What is he used with me?
For you and for many. I mean, many there is a term referring to it implies that there will be rejection, right? Basically, for many. For those, he means for those that accept. Right? Because in the end, Jesus can't, he dies for those who reject him, but he can't save, as St. Catherine of Siena said, he can't save us without us. Our own free assent, our own free acceptance of his salvation. So there's kind of a debate between the for many and the for all. But at the end of the day, Jesus dies for everyone who accepts him. And he wants everyone to be saved. So it's not, there couldn't be any stinginess with salvation here. This is Christ's death. It is infinite merit. It's the salvation of the whole world. For every sin from now to the end of the world is redeemed, is atoned for. Okay, well, let's just briefly touch on these moments which are part of the Paschal mystery, right? Because what happens after Jesus dies? It is finished. He dies. There's a big earthquake, the veil of the temple's rent. There are a few things that go on. Right? I can't get into all the details, but they're pretty awesome. They pierce his side with the spear, right? Blood and water flow out. But they take him down from the cross. And he's buried. He's buried. He's buried in the tomb. And the church holds that on in his death. Right? Christ does something before he's resurrected. Right? He descends into hell. He descends into hell. And this is the great day of Holy Saturday. It's when we kind of remember Christ's descent. Right? He descends to the realm of the dead. Okay? Good Friday, Holy Saturday, and Easter Sunday. Those are the 3 days that we, as the church, remember the 3 historical days of Christ's Paschal mystery. Okay? And on Holy Saturday, let's see if I can find it. Right? On Holy Saturday, the church thinks about Jesus descending to the realm of the dead as a day of great silence. Right? And there's a famous homily given on this day. It just begins, today a great silence reigns on the earth. Right? This is the silence of God. Of Jesus going to the realm of the dead. Why? To bring all the just, all those who were worthy of salvation, to bring them into heaven. As I said, the Paschal mystery is this unique event that it goes forward and it goes backward with its power. It goes backward into time with its saving power. And then Jesus goes to the realm of the dead to bring them to heaven. Yeah.
So were all the people in hell?
They were not in hell. They were in what the Old Testament referred to as Sheol, or the realm of the dead, a place of shadows, where they couldn't really communicate with God. They couldn't know God. So there's it's a big topic. I don't think I want to go into it.
Yeah, just
All right.
that's one question.
But yeah, it's kind of a nuanced question. Because in the Old Testament, they have different ideas about the realm of the dead. Right, Jesus talks about Sheol or Hades, right? And that's a place for all the dead, whether evil or righteous, and they're all awaiting the Redeemer. Okay. So, yeah, it's not heaven, not hell. Okay. Not purgatory either. There you go. Okay. And he goes to the realm of the dead as the Savior. Okay? As the Savior. Right? I think the resurrection we'll cover more as we get towards Easter, and even a little bit more then. And I've already touched on it a little bit as far as that being the central belief for the divinity of Christ, right? That he rose from the dead. And we know the first thing that he did when he rose from the dead, right? He folded his laundry. Okay, that might be on the quiz, but right, fold up his laundry. But we're going to move just to this last topic, which actually does tie into the resurrection. But why is this? What the heck does this mean for me right now? The Paschal mystery. Right? How do 3 days in history get to me in my life? What is so unique about this event, the Paschal mystery? And, well, this is truly my favorite paragraph of the Catechism. But the Paschal mystery is a unique event. It's a unique event because in that mystery, his death, his descent to the realm of the dead, his resurrection, he, Jesus, right, changed death forever. Right? He changed the reality of death. Death is no longer we no longer go to the realm of the dead, right? Where do we go? Well, we go to our judgment. Right? And from there, hopefully to heaven. But, right, in his earthly life, Jesus announced his Paschal mystery. This is Catechism 1085. During his earthly life, Jesus announced his Paschal mystery by his teaching, anticipated it by his actions, and when the hour comes, he lives out the unique event of history which does not pass away. Jesus dies, is buried, rises from the dead, and is seated at the right hand of the Father once for all. His Paschal mystery is a real event that occurred in our history, but it is unique. All other historical events happen once and they pass away. They're swallowed up in the past. The Paschal mystery of Christ, by contrast, cannot remain only in the past. It cannot remain only in the past because by his death, he destroyed death. And all that Christ is, all that he did and suffered for all men, participates in the divine eternity. Okay? And so it transcends all times, while being made present in them all. The event of the cross and resurrection abides and draws everything towards life. Okay? So the events of Jesus' life, all of them, but especially the Paschal mystery, it's the eternal God doing those actions. And so the power and the action itself can't remain only in the past. Right? It extends back in time. Its saving effects back in time and forward to us here and now. Because Jesus is he's human and divine, and he unites. He takes all of creation, actually, into his eternity, into his divine sonship with the Father. I know that's super deep, complicated, and hard to grasp, but it is. It is. I mean, how does God save the world? Well, he does it by his Paschal mystery, which then extends to us. Right? And this paragraph in the Catechism comes, I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit, it comes in the section on the sacraments. Right? Because what is the sacrament where we receive salvation? We receive freedom from death. And it's baptism. It's baptism. We are baptized into the death and the resurrection of Christ. We're incorporated into his body. So, Paschal mystery event in the past, but it cannot remain only in the past. It still has power here and now, today, in our lives. Okay? So, don't ever hope that you could live at the time of Jesus. Man, I wish I could just be there with Jesus and be one of the 12 and walk around. Like, no, it's actually better to live now. It's a lot better. Jesus himself said it's better for you that I go, and I send the Holy Spirit and you can have all the power of salvation. But truly, it's not that we go back in time when we receive this salvation. No, it's like Jesus is made present to us here and now. And this is why the Catholic Church has all these sacraments. So it gives us real ways to receive grace, to receive salvation. Okay, any questions about the Paschal mystery, the saving events of the life of Christ? Right? This is what gives all the power to the sacraments. The sacraments made present, the Paschal mystery of Christ, right? Like Mass, baptism. We're going to get to the sacraments. I haven't got there yet. But this is just the center of everything. If there's one thing you should pray with and about, it is the Paschal mystery. Stations of the cross. It's all just the passion and death of Christ. Even the greatest celebration we have is Easter. And we celebrate Easter for 8 days. Not just one day is not enough. We got to do it for 8 days. This is just the center of everything. We can read about it, we can think about it more and more and more. And the Gospels themselves already have a ton in there for us to contemplate and to receive. Okay? All right, questions? Any questions? Don't be afraid. Well, if we don't have any questions, then we'll maybe wrap up with a few housekeeping things. Okay, anything? Very good, very good. Okay. So thank you for those that signed up for the one-on-one interviews. We've had a few already. So please sign up on the Google spreadsheet. If none of those hours work for you, namely 2 to 5 on the next 2 Sundays, send me an email. We can work out another time to meet. But it's very important that we do this before December 2nd or on December 2nd. It'll be fine. Okay? So let's sign up for the one-on-ones. If you still are looking for a sponsor, please keep bothering Chris and I and Grace, so we can get you a sponsor. Who knows if a couple you're still looking. And anything else, Chris?
No class next weekend.
No class. That's sad. But no class next weekend. It's Thanksgiving. Day after, or Sunday after Thanksgiving, no class. That Thursday, November 29, if you can, highly encourage you to come to Alpha Omega. It's a Thursday night undergrad event. Even if you're not an undergrad, you can come. Okay, you can still come. This is going to be a great talk about Advent, the upcoming liturgical season. So that's on November 29, right after you get back from break. And there's a dinner here at 6 o'clock. It'd be great if we could sit together as like RCIA students and sponsors for dinner at 6, talk at 7. And that's on Thursday night. Okay? So no class next week and that event on Thursday 29.
And then the next class is at 7:45 because we're all going to Mass.
Yep, and then we're almost, at that point, we're almost to December 2nd.
That next Sunday is December 2nd.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay, so then actually that's the next time I'll see some of you, is December 2nd. So, class is at 7:45 p.m. that night, not 7:50. We'll send an email reminder, but that may be the next time, if you can't make it to that Thursday night. Okay, so have a good Thanksgiving, and let's stand and pray our Father. And everyone, look out for Christ and that's in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Our Father, who art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son,